All right, welcome to another edition of International Soccer Break. I'm your host, Sahil. I'm here with Bikram and Rahi. We're doing an instant reaction of the India game. Boys, it was a tough game. Valiant effort by the boys. We'll get into the talking points, though. It was
Yeah,
tough to go out this way.
tough. Bad result. Valiant effort, I agree. Just not enough up front. Didn't create enough chances. And then the goal was really a great goal by a great player. I don't know what to say. It was nothing in attack, and that's the really disappointing part. But again, fight, Vic. Again, fight, but no end product.
Good. Yeah, I would agree with most of that. Good fight, good organization. Like you said, valiant effort. Like, you can't really fault how the guys have performed. I feel like if you're a fan, I think you can be proud of that performance. Would have loved to see a goal, but like you said, not enough chances created. And to be honest, Syria are a step above, and they showed it today. So, it is what it is.
I have a little bit of a different take on the game, though, than you guys. I thought this was exactly the way to play it. I thought we were only going to get a couple of chances here or there, and that was exactly the sake of the game. I didn't expect us to go and boss them around. So I thought that the defense was fantastic today. And I think for an Indian squad, that's where it needs to start. And they were excellent today across the board. Subhashish Bose had a fantastic game, fantastic game. So I think this is the recipe moving forward.
And I agree in one sense that we've never seen them play this organized. They were so good and so compact in a lot of ways. They defended very well over the course of this entire tournament. The challenge is how do you then turn that into chances on the other end? That's the next step, and that's the question. But I don't love that people are going to take out of this tournament 0 points, 0 goals, terrible performance. The performances at times were very good and did show progress on one side of the field, not on the other. That's the problem.
Yeah, but I think you do start at the back, right? When you are trying to improve, you what can you do in a few weeks? That's what one of the things we discussed, I think, before the break, end of last year. How much can Steammatch do with his team in a few weeks? And he's actually done quite a bit. I mean, the organization is actually really good. Again, you could see those defensive lines. They got undone by an amazing interplay by the Syrian players. But that happens, and that's what a team that is better than you will do to you. But overall, you can't really fault the organization, the defensive work, and seeing the progress made from the Qatar match to what we've seen now. I think it is a step above, and I think the next step is, okay, how do we turn this into good attacking play up front? And that's going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, and I think that moving forward, there's a lot to discuss. We'll talk about that in a separate video before we end, because I think there's a lot to take away. I need to talk about this because Steammatch said it should have been a red card on Ois. Yeah. I believe it should have been a red card on Ois. You can, in my opinion, you cannot retaliate. That was a firm rule in football that you cannot retaliate after a player does whatever they may do, and you'll get a red card. Now, I know it wasn't a headbutt to the same effect as Zidane, but that was a pretty hard push, in my opinion. So I believe India was robbed. That's my take on it.
I don't. As much as I'd like to say, and I'd love to have seen that red card happen at the time, it would have changed the game. I don't believe that's enough. It was a hard foul, and the retaliation was hard as well, no doubt, and it was unwarranted. But he just sort of gets up and kind of chest bumps him. To me, we see that time and time again. Nowadays, that's not a sending off. It hasn't been a sending off in years. For me, the right call, the yellow, was correct. As much as it pains me to say it, Steammatch is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, look, I wouldn't take the coach's word for it. I respect Steammatch. I respect what he's done, but he is going to be biased. And to be honest, you expect bias from managers at the end of the game. That definitely not a red for me. I mean, I thought the foul itself was actually pretty bad in the first place. Like, he puts his arm around the guy, brings him down. Again, it's it's football. Like, it's what you do as a defender. And actually, the player shouldn't be faulted for fouling him either. But it was, like I said, it was a bit of a body check.
Yeah, but isn't that the rule? Is that not the rule anymore?
Premier League every week. You see that every week in football.
I don't think you see that every week in the Premier League. And the next time we have a video, I'd like you to bring a video evidence and show me where that's happening.
I'll point it out every single time.
Yeah, just I completely disagree with you guys. I thought, and even the commentators were saying, "Hey, this is possibly a red." So I
I think you're
believe.
reaching. I think you're
Uh,
reaching. I think you're reaching, and things have changed now. The game is much more
I would
physical
love
now.
to hear the fans watching this video in the comments tell us. I am firmly on the side of that should have been a red card. And so many times India has been robbed by calls like this or penalties and stuff like this. I was saying, okay, now we're gonna get one because the guy was looking at it. But
I think you can't fall prey to this typical Indian narrative, which is we were robbed, which is the calls were bad, which is it's always the case, right? And
no,
you
but
can't
today
That's
we
the
were
problem in
robbed.
general.
I think we were robbed. Oasis, if Oasis is not there, I guarantee you India wins this match because he did a lot of
This was
good things for them.
a lot better than 2019, right? Where we lose to the late penalty against Bahrain, which doesn't advance us. This was a very different scenario for me. I don't think it's a big deal. But I think we do need to talk about the end of this tournament. And I saw a tweet from some people saying that this is the worst performance of India in the Asia Cup because we didn't score. The last time that happened was in the 70s, but we did tie a game in that tournament. But then again, in 2011, we ended with 0 points. We did score goals, but we ended with 0 points. And I think we said before going into this tournament, look at the games, look at the eye test. This is not about results. This is a very tough group against opponents that are all ranked above you. In the last tournament, we had Thailand, different story. For me, on performance, I hope that Steamwatch is judged based on people who watch these games and not on the results because I'm worried about the reaction. For me, there were good performances, but it doesn't look good if you look at the results.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the performances have been pretty good, and they've never given up. They've always shown fight. Okay, that's all we've asked for. These players are, they have a ceiling on their ability, and maybe that ceiling gets extended in the next couple of years. It's not going to get extended in a few weeks. So yeah, I'm actually like okay with the performances. I think they've done well. They've done as well as they could. Could have scored a goal here or there. Could have not conceded a goal or two against Uzbekistan, but these things happen. They are playing against better teams, and that's it.
Yeah, and the guy who scores, Kurban, right, has won Asian Player of the Year. So you're talking about a different caliber of player, right? And it's a beautiful goal that he scores.
Yeah,
that's an individual moment of brilliance that India doesn't have a player like that right now, right?
Yeah. But I think look, I think we can all and we can finish here, but I think we can all be pretty proud of the way that the team performed in this particular match. I thought it was their best performance of the tournament. And I think the Australia game and the Syria game are games that you can look to. Throw the Uzbekistan game out. But so let's end there. And if we had got the red card, it could have been different though. Yeah. I'll keep pushing that narrative. But
let's give a shout out to Chunk there. I thought he had a great game. Yeah. He really looks a player that can compete at this level. And he showed it domestically, but I think he's starting to show it internationally.
Yeah. So all right. So we'll continue to follow the team as we get ready for the big March game against Afghanistan. So we'll continue to
2 games, isn't it?
Yeah, the home and away. Big games. Bick, you ready for that?
Yeah, looking forward to it. I think India could do well against them.
That's for all the marbles, as they say. But all right. So India fans out there, hopefully you enjoyed watching the team at the Asian Cup. It's unfortunate that they go out, but I think a valiant effort despite the elimination. And as we always say, guys, and I'll say it proudly today, let's go India. Chak de India. See you guys in March for the games against Afghanistan. Let's go.